So today we're going to work on introductions, pick up where we left off yesterday. We really didn't have enough time to work on that. And then we're going to do some reading with our new consonants, which are, what are our new consonants for today? Val, del, vel, ra, and zay. Ra, 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 ra. How many people feel that they have a problem rolling their R's? 1, 2, 3. No, sir. Okay. So there's a TA in the department who could not roll her R's, Corinne. And she told me that she worked with someone and learned tricks and can now roll her R's, even though she was convinced up until very late in her study of Arabic that she couldn't roll her R's. And so I'm going to find out what those tricks are. I know a few of them, but we'll see. It is possible that you can't roll your R's. There's a certain percentage of the population that anatomically cannot do that. If you happen to be unfortunate enough to be born into a language that requires you to roll your R's, you speak like with a lisp in that language, in your own native language, right? Because you can't. And it has to do with how tightly, I think, your tongue is attached to the bottom, because you have to get a trill going. You have to get a vibration. And so it is actually possible that you actually cannot do it, but I don't want to give up the ghost until we really try everything that we can to see if we can get, because sometimes it's just a question of it's difficult, but you can. Like this TA, graduate student, who was convinced for years that she couldn't until she met a teacher that said, well, wait a minute, let's try a few things. And now she can roll her R's. So we'll find out. And what I'll do is I'll teach the flagship TAs. So those of you that want to work with somebody on your trilled R's, the flagship TAs will be available to do that. And we'll teach them how to teach people to roll their R's. Yes, Lydia?
Sorry, I had a question. Would the flagship TAs, could they count as like a native speaker for the assignment?
They are not native speakers.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe some of them were.
They are not native speakers. No, they're advanced students of Arabic. So no, yeah. And that's, there's a program on campus called PAL, and I can send out an email about that, and I will send out an email about that, and they hook people up. And I have a couple of emails actually that came to me. Okay, a couple of things that I can do to help you get partners that speak Arabic. And actually, Amy, would you tell them what you told me about your ESL classes, your ESL students?
I teach at an intensive English program down 24th, and there's a whole lot of Saudi students, so if anybody wants to meet some Saudi students, we can arrange something. You would have to help them with their English.
But that's okay. At this stage, it's the meeting with them is to meet with them for cultural, as much as anything else, because, yeah, it'd be a while before you know enough Arabic that you could spend a whole half hour talking. Okay. All right, good. So introduction. So I want you to work with in groups of 3. One person is going to play the role of the professor, and then 2 students. One of the students knows the professor, the other student does not. So you're going to say hello to the professor. How are you? Nice greetings, lots of nice warm greetings. And then the student will introduce the other student to the professor, and they'll say hello, how do you do, nice to meet you, and then rotate. Okay, so everybody gets to play each role, and in particular to practice the introductions. You want to practice them real quickly as a class before we break up into groups? Yeah, okay, so let's pretend we are introducing Nick. What are we going to say? Sahbi. So we say the name first, right? Nick, Sahbi, Talib, جامعة Texas. Very nice. جامعة Texas. طالب في جامعة Texas. Very nice. عمار صاحبي طالب Texas. صاحبي عمار صاحبي طالب في جامعة Texas. Or you can change this up a little bit, so ده عمار ده عمار ده, right? ده عمار أو ده صاحبي اسمه عمار طالب في جامعة. So you do know a few things that would allow you to change this just a little bit if you want to. You don't have to do it exactly the way it was on the video. Let's try one female. اسمها. So دي فرحانة. اسمها. Oh, sorry. دي صاحبتي. You can't say دي فرحانة اسمها فرحانة. دي صاحبتي. اسمها فرحانة. طالبة في جامعة تكساس في مدينة أوستن. Nice long sentence. Okay? ماشي؟
شرفنا بيك كيف؟ صاحبي طالب في جامعة تكساس في
شرفنا.
Do you know how to respond to that? تشرفنا. تشرفنا. Nice to meet you. تشرفنا. ماشي. Okay. كويس. Whose turn is it? You're the introducer?
I'm the introducer.
Okay.
Who's my professor?
Oh wait, we're supposed to be saying like Sabah. Okay, like returning professor. You're supposed to say yeah, doctor.
And you're supposed to use what with the حضرتك. Yeah.
Ustaza is that teacher, and then doctor is just doctor.
Professor, doctor.
Who's the professor?
مين الدكتور؟ هو؟ ماشي.
صباح الخير يا دكتور جوناثان.
صباح النور.
ازاي حضرتك؟
ممتاز.
كويس. وانت؟
كويس الحمد لله.
كويس.
كيت صاحبتي طالبة في جامعة تكساس في مدينة أوستن. ورمسيس صاحبي طالب في جامعة تكساس في مدينة أوستن.
صاحبي.
شرفنا بيك.
صاحبي.
عفوا.
تشرفنا بكم.
شرفنا بيك.
ممتاز.
صباح الخير يا دكتور جوناثان.
صباح النور.
ازاي حضرتك؟
كويس. وانت؟
كويسة. جوناثان صاحبي طالب في جامعة تكساس في مدينة أوستن.
شرفنا بيك.
ممتاز. Any suggestions? Comments? What?
Jonathan could smile wider.
You could smile a little bit more.
Which one?
Both of them.
It's hard to smile when you're on the spot in front of. Good morning. Do it again for me.
صباح الخير. صباح الخير.
What's that hearing?
صباح الخير. صباح الخير. صباح الخير.
Sabah.
صباح الخير.
See,
صباح الخير.
there you go.
صباح الخير. صباح الخير. صباح الخير.
Okay, work on that. Have you been working on those, the
haven't.
exercise? Okay, it shows because you're getting that sabah
Call me on it
al
every time.
I know, and I'm going to keep doing that until you say, I just have to do this. So she's going to keep calling me on it. Sabah. This morning I was just curious. I've never tested, but I was driving to school with my husband and I just curious. So I put my fingers on his Adam's apple and I said, move that for me. And he just went like, you know, it was like nothing, you know, it was like going like this. I thought that's what I figured, right? You really just have to get in touch with these muscles, right? We are just not used to do it. You've got to figure out a way to send your brain the signal that to move these muscles, right? And actually, I think I was working with somebody else. What might be a good idea is to work on just sabah. without the al-khair, because your brain is thinking ahead about having to say the kha, and it's going to do the kha, right? So just sabah al-khair, sabah. All right, thank you very much. Just a little reminder about our ha. Faddalu. Let's do some reading now. So with a partner, please. Is everybody sitting next to someone that they haven't worked with too much? Or do we need to move around? Yes? You sitting somebody next to someone that I want you to be a third with another group of two today. Okay, so page 85, drill 11. Let's read, and let's put we want to go for accuracy. We also want to go for a little bit of speed, put a little bit of time pressure on yourself. So I'm going to, after about 2 minutes, I'm going to ask you how far you got, kind of see. All right, so we'll spend about 10 minutes or so reading. You ready? You two are working together. You two are working together. Caitlin, you're working with Nasser? Okay. All right, go ahead. Start reading. I don't hear the long alif. Make it longer. There you go. There you go. Very good. Very nice. Very nice.
Oh yeah.
I don't hear this sound.
Wahid.
There you go. Because this is long. So say this one and then this one. You see how they're kind of the opposite? One has a long alif and a short kasra, and the other one has a fatha and then a long e. So they're kind of mirror images. Wahid, wahid. Nice.
What is wahid?
Wahid comes from the same root, wahada. It means lonely or alone.
I have a friend named Wahid.
Yeah, wahid. Oh, wahid also lonely. No, also like unique. Wahid.
The next one is gonna be
Word.
oh, it's an R.
Ward. Very nice. Okay, so I'm figuring that you guys are going to finish before the other students. So what I want you to work on identifying pairs of words. There are pairs of related words in this set. So once you finish reading, I want you to find pairs of related words related by the fact that they both have the same 3-letter root in them.
Oh, okay.
Part B.
I guess you could say that.
So does the dal or the g give you deep awe?
So it's digga.
That's right.
Okay. Ajri.
Oh, here's dar, yadur.
Harb. Just not the long hair.
Okay. Now, in this case, you do actually get a deep fatha sound. Oh.
Oh, here's a harb.
Because of the R. So the R's are kind of like, they're like the saw and the do. They give you the deep vowel sound. So this one is not harb, but... Say it again. Harb. Harb.
It's easier to roll the R if it's a deeper A, I think.
This one counts on.
That sounds weird.
Ha.
Sour, right?
Ha. Harb. Perfect. Harb. Are you good?
Yes,
So if there's a fatha before the waw, it's ow, right? Ow. And then we had trouble with this one. Since there's no sukoon or short vowel on the
If there's no vowel there, what is it? Even if it's not written, it is a sukoon. They just forgot to put it there. And it's confusing because they put them everywhere else, but you could put one there, right? So the absence of any short vowel on a consonant actually means sukoon. Sukoon is just a way of explicitly writing it. Harb. Harb.
I mean, af. No. Yeah. Af. Shukran.
Afwan. 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 I teach you another expression. La shukr ala wajib. Wajib. But also a duty. So there is no thanks for that which is my duty. La shukr ala wajib. It's another answer to shukran. Shukran. La shukr ala wajib. لا شكر على واجب على واجب على واجب واجب not واجب واجب Okay, good. Are you finished? Are you done? Twice. Okay, so little introduction to the tri-consonantal root system of Arabic. So in this set of words, there's a number of word pairs that are actually related. They both have the same triconsonantal root. To be the same, they have to have the same order. So 3 consonants in more or less the same order. So you have the root, for instance, in Arabic, ka, ta, ba, that has to do with writing. The word for book comes from that root. The word for library, bookstore, writer, written, to write, now and in the past. What other words?
To correspond.
To correspond. Office, yes, yes, maktab, and maktab, office, and also maktab, like a place where you write. That's the idea. Okay, so there are other similar pairs in these words. Find them.
Would that be considered 3 consonants, or would it be like Alif is just a long, like Dajjaj and Zujaj? Those wouldn't be.
They wouldn't be. No, they wouldn't be the same root and Y.
Long vowel, right?
That's not the problem. That's not the problem, because the 2 words can be related and both have, but dajaj and zujaj can't be from the same root. Why?
The Z and the Da?
Exactly. One has a Z in it and one has a Da. So there's No, not in the whole word. There could be more, but they have the same 3 consonants in the same order. Okay.
Oh, 2 and 3.
There you go. Wahid and wahid. So what's the root? What's the 3 consonants that they share? Wahada, exactly. Which has to do with, what do you think the root wahada? You're thinking of wajib. What word do we know? Wahid. One. Yeah. So the word for union, unity, all kinds of words that have to do with oneness come from this root, wahada.
So the consonants, just to clarify, don't have to be exactly next to each other. They just have to be in the same order.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, they oftentimes won't be because you get vowels in between them. And you can get some additional consonants sometimes too, but not in these words. How are you doing finding words with similar
We found 2 pairs.
roots? Okay. So which ones are they?
واحد and وحيد.
What is it?
واحد and وحيد.
Very nice.
And then زيت and
Oh yeah, because it's the right?
زيوت. Is that a pair?
Very nice. And what are the 3 consonants that they share?
Zayn.
Yeah.
Z, ya, ta. Very nice. Zayt, zuyut. Very nice.
And that's all I found.
Okay. Okay, why don't you go ahead and tell me what you came up with. Here's a couple pairs that I got from a couple of the pairs. Wahid and wahid. Wahid and wahid. With they have the shared root of wahada, right? The wahada. Wahid and wahid. So having to do with oneness. The word for unity, union, to unify. All of these, to be alone, to be lonely, to be unique and singular and one, right? All having to do with sort of this idea of one. This is another one that Amina and John found for us. Zayt, zuyut. Zayt, zuyut. So what's the common, the 3? Z, ya, ta. Singular, plural. Zayt, zuyut. Oil, oils. Zuyut. Zayt, zuyut. So what's the plural of bait? Yes. See how that works? How about the plural of sheikh? Shuyukh. Very nice. Sheikhs. The plural of yacht. Yukhut. And what does it mean? If you're rich, you may have many yukhut. What kind of boats? Yacht. It's a borrowed word. Yacht. 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 Okay. Yalla. Give me another pair that you found. There's more of them. Nikki?
Yubhir and Bihar, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yubhir and Bihar. Yubhir and Bihar. Good. Nice. From the root, what's the root, the common root? Bahara. And this is a verbal prefix, it's not part of it. Bihar. Seas and to go sailing. This is the plural of bahar, bihar, and this is yubhir, to go sailing. Okay. Yes. Okay. Hizb. Ahzab. Very nice. Okay. Hizb ahzab from hazaba, a political party. Many political parties. Singular and plural. Hizb ahzab. Again, this is a common plural. Another one that's done like this. Do we know it? But that's a hard one because of the wow. Ukht, no, that akhawat, close. Well, I can tell you that the word for boy comes from this. This root actually, sorry. Yeah, this is the one I was thinking of, بس ما بيعرفوش. Okay, yalla. Any other pairs? Okay, here's one. Yeah. Khabar, akhbar. Very nice. So?
Singular and plural.
Singular and plural, exactly. Khabar and akhbar. Akhbar is news. Is news singular or plural?
Plural.
It is?
Singular.
Why is it plural? Is it in English? What is it? Is news singular or plural?
It's still plural.
Is it plural? Has an S on it.
In English, it's
It has an S on it.
yeah, but if you watch the news, you watch multiple things.
No.
You don't watch the news.
It's grammatically singular, right? Because you say the news is good. You don't say the news are good. Do we? Do you say the news are good? No. The news is good. So it's grammatically singular. Semantically, somehow it's plural. In Arabic, it's grammatically plural. Akhbar. So when you say akhbarik you are literally asking for, huh? Yeah, yeah. And khabar, you would never say khabarik but you would say ya khabari, ya khabari, ya khabari, ya khabar, ya khabar, ya khabar iswad, ya khabari. When you hear really bad news, you say ya khabar iswad. Oh, what black news. Ya khabar iswad. Ya khabar iswad. A piece of bad news. كمان. This is جميل. فخبر أخبار. So this pattern, very common pattern for plural. Lydia.
I'm confused because in the vocab, the lady pronounced the E, like the A part is E. So do you say akhbarik E or akhbarik A or is it?
أخبارك إيه?
Yeah, because he says E in the thing. So I got
Who did?
the vocab speaker person when they said.
No. No. No, it's A. Very definitely A, not E. But you know what? When you hear something like that, it's really good to go back and sort of reprogram your ears a little bit by going back and listening to it and saying, this is what A sounds like. Let me hear where it is. Where is it?
It's like when you watch the video, like when you click on the vocab for the E and for what it says E.
A.
Yeah, she says E, like more of an E sound, but then we say A sometimes, so I got confused.
No, it's definitely A. It's definitely A. But we'll listen to that. Can you pull that up while we're working on that? It might be a good idea for all of us. I'll have Kirsten pull it up and then we'll listen to it. Okay, we are going to do some dictation now. Yes.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah. Were there any other pairs, by the way? Did you find any, Simon?
Yeah.
Wazir.
Wazir. Very nice. Wazir. And wuzara. Very nice. Wazir wuzara. From? Wazara. Wazara. So this part is just kind of additional. Wazir wuzara. Wazir, like the English word vizier.
Yeah.
Minister. Minister. And this is many of them. Wuzara is a plural. Wazir wuzara. Safir sufara.
Wouldn't it be like Zuyul or something like that?
So there's more than one. There's more than one plural pattern. So here's one: zuyut, akhbar, wuzara. There are different patterns for plurals.
Would harab and hurub be related?
Very nice. Harb and hurub, and that's just like this one, right? Harb and hurub, right? Zayt, zuyut, harb, hurub. Zayt, zuyut, harb, hurub. So it's that same plural pattern, like sheikh, shuyukh. Very nice. Any other ones? Do you find any other ones? So these are what are called broken plurals. Why are they broken?
There's like other letters between them.
Caitlin?
There's like other letters between them.
Yeah, and it's kind of like you break up the root in a sense to put other things in between the three consonants to get the plural. So that's what's called. And there are what's also called sound plurals, where you just take the word and you just add something onto the end of it to make a plural, just like in English. So news, that's not a good example. Shoe, shoes. Have we seen any examples? We haven't seen any examples of that, but we'll see it. Okay, dictation. Can I get 2 volunteers to come to the board? Okay, you ready? Number 1. خبز زوجتي. خبز زوجتي. Say it after me and to yourself as you're writing. خبز زوجتي. 2 words. خبز زوجتي. خبز. Say it for me, Jonathan. خبز زوجتي.
خبز زوجتي. خبز زوجتي.
So you actually wrote exactly what you're saying. Listen very carefully. خبز زوجتي.
خبز زوجتي.
Can you hear it? Yes, very nice.
Yes.
I'm saying it wrong.
يا سلام. حلو. عظيم. برافو. كيمياء.
How do you differentiate between the E like that and then the A with the hamza and the kasra underneath?
Okay. خبز. خبز.
Oh, خبز.
I didn't even notice that. خبز. And you know why you're not hearing it?
Why?
Tell him why he's not hearing the difference between kha and ha.
I can't say it.
Because you're not saying it. And trust me, you will not learn to hear it right until you learn to say it. There's just something about our perceptual mechanism that we don't learn to distinguish between sounds when we hear them until we sort of teach our own ears what it feels like to say that sound. And then our ears are sort of like, oh, okay, now I get it. Now I can understand what that sound is because I know how to make it. Kha and ha. Good. خبز زوجتي. Kimia, I'm sorry, I'm not understanding your question.
Okay, can I write it on the board?
Sure. The rest of you, check what you wrote. Did you write the same thing? خبز زوجتي.
How do you know when you use this or this?
Okay, so Kimia's question is, when do you know whether to use this or this? Okay, so this is a long, what's this sound? E. And what's this? E.
Oh.
So this is actually, the hamza here is the actual sound. So it's that stop, and then it has a kasra on it. E.
Okay.
Yeah. And this would basically be at the beginning of a word.
Is the Alif with the Hamza either above or below always at the beginning? Is that like, well, besides the...
Not the one above. You can have an Alif with a Hamza above anywhere.
Anywhere. Okay.
Yeah, but below, that would have to be at the beginning of a word.
Okay.
Okay, ready? دجاج جديد. دجاج جديد. Let me hear you saying it. دجاج جديد. دجاج جديد. Very nice. Let's see if we have time for one more. The marriage of my sister. زواج أختي. So again, زواج, same root. In one case, husband, wife, marriage. So kind of all things that have to do with becoming two. Al-Izdiwajiyya. Actually, the language situation in the Middle East with the dialect and the formal comes from this root. Like the two-ness of the language, where you have two different languages. Al-Izdiwajiyya. 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 Diglossia. From zawaja, al-izdiwajiyya, having two languages, one language that you speak and one language that you read and write. Al-izdiwajiyya. Okay, let's listen to this and let's see if we hear it. Thank you very much. I appreciate your writing for us. Good job. Yalla, bravo. Ya salam. Ya salam.
Shu.
What?
E.
Is that right?
Wait, what?
E.
E.
That sounds like both actually.
Second.
E.
You're saying E, that's not what she's saying.
E.
Listen.
E.
It's in between.
It sounds like easy, but I'm just
E.
E. E. E.
E.
It's not E, definitely not E. 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 You know, I think you're getting fooled by the fact that it has a kasra on it. It's a visual thing. If you're still hearing it as E, one thing that's really very useful is sometimes if you just tell you, it's kind of like we hear sometimes, you know, optical illusions, how you can look at something and you can see it two different ways. Your ears can do that too. So tell your ears this is an E and listen to it and make them hear it as an E.